Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! Up you wake, up you wake, up you wake, up you wake!
All right, here we go. Line 1. Nope is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. Even if you didn't like Nope, to say that that is one of the worst movies you've seen in a long time is crazy.
I'm like wondering how many movies has this man seen?
Exactly. How many movies are you watching? Do you watch anything other than movies that have tens of millions of dollars in their advertising budget? Like, if you're saying that a movie by Jordan Peele, I'm not saying he's God or anything, but he hasn't made a terrible movie yet. There's something to appreciate about all his movies, whether it's the writing or the acting or, you know, the themes. None of his movies are like devoid of anything. Or devoid of like anything redeemable. Like there's always something to get out of it.
Get out, get it? Haha.
So to say that this is one of the worst movies you've seen in a long time, the last movie he probably saw was like The Lion King 2019.
He probably saw Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, maybe. I love Jordan Peele and Keke Palmer can act her ass off, but this movie is objectively slow. All right, we're going to stop there. Okay, so to say that something is objectively slow is a stupid thing to say because pacing and the way that time moves is objectively subjective. Okay, when I was 9 years old, I thought a 30-minute car ride was the end of the world. And now I am 25 and I can do a 90-minute commute, no problem. That's it. The passage of time is subjective. You cannot say that something is objectively slow. You can say their pacing takes its time, but for something to be objectively slow in a pejorative is just factually incorrect.
This movie's like, it doesn't even feel like that, though. Everything has a motive in this movie. Like, every scene has something to do with what is going on in the overall story. So I don't understand why he would think it's objectively slow.
And confusing with stretched themes that don't justify the pace, a thread. There's nothing confusing about this movie. That's all you have to say. It's not hard to conceptualize something disturbing. A trained chimp goes animalistic and mauls an entire set, or a UFO devours something in its path. It is hard to sensibly tie it to the plot, which was done remarkably poor here. A series of questions. Okay, so you don't have to tie everything to the plot. The plot is at the service of what the director is trying to say, either consciously or subconsciously, and not everything has to do with the forward momentum of the plot. But even if he goes into like the chimp stuff, that is a part of one of the character's character and ties it with what happens in the present day of the plot is pretty clear. Also, I think it's worth mentioning here that the present is tied to the past because the UFO caused the chimpanzee to go crazy. That was the thing that you learn from that scene. And beyond that, maybe Jupe put two and two together, like the audience is supposed to put two and two together whenever we watch the flashback. But he is morbidly curious because something so insane happened when he was a child, and then when he witnesses a similar phenomenon, he's going to be drawn to it the same way that the two main characters are going through grief and the death of their father, and when they see a potential answer to that burning question of how did this happen, they're going to investigate it. Very simple concept. Number 1, no one was curious how a quarter shot through a man's face and killed him, or why a key was lodged in the backside of the horse he was riding. What?
Well, he went to the hospital, didn't he? And didn't they say it was like a commercial airplane or something?
Yeah, they justified it because there's nothing in the context of where they were at in their knowledge of the universe that would say, yeah, this UFO is actually a being and it just swallowed up a bunch of people like a couple miles away and then just like shit all of its excrement and then, you know, a quarter just went through your dad's head. I'm sorry, this is just a regular occurrence in the rural, plains of California. Like, no. There was a whole scene. He was probably on his phone like a moron. Or he was, talking to one of his friends. It was clear setup for what was happening later in the movie. Number 2, why or how did the shoe stand upright on the set of Gordy's home? This one I'm sure has a reason, but I haven't found anything that makes sense. Okay. If you have this question, why are you putting it in the context of this movie is one of the worst movies you've seen in a long time? If you have a genuine question that you are sure has a reason for it, why did Floyd Mayweather hit him in the head that hard? that one time?
He must have, because that's a stupid thing to say, honestly. I was thinking of it as like, remember how he said, have you ever heard of like a bad miracle? And like how the kid was focusing on the shoe exactly, like when Gordy was going on his attack.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe that moment of light was like something that he could hold on to keep out hope.
Maybe. So, all right, number 3. The deep voice cinematographer was cryptic for no reason other than to be cryptic. You're telling me this guy was willing to die because he wanted better lighting to capture the ET for real? Holy shit, holy shit, holy
Oh my
shit,
God.
holy shit.
Did he not hear the last words this man said? Oh my God.
He didn't even have to speak. It was pretty clear what he wanted. He was looking for the impossible shot. It's about getting the shot. It's not about people seeing the shot. It's not about the fame and the fortune. It's about the act of getting the shot. It's about the act of doing the thing that you're passionate about.
He says, like, sometimes we don't deserve the impossible or something like that. So he realized, like, we don't have to get this right now.
Also, this is a crystal clear homage to Jaws. This is literally Robert Shaw's character, Quint. They even have the scene in the boat, black eyes like a doll's eyes. They have that moment in this movie at the table when he starts singing the song and they're playing what they're going to do the next day. Like, they have that scene. Quint dies in Jaws. The black eyes, the doll's eyes, like that's the last thing he sees before he dies. Like, it's a clear like callback to Jaws. How are you misinterpreting this movie?
Same note. Man on the motorcycle. Why was his voice deep and robotic, framed to be an antagonist who'd have a grand reveal? Okay, let's stop right there real quick, because when people are in a motorcycle mask, their voice is pretty deep, to be honest. Have you ever talked to anybody with a motorcycle mask on?
Yeah, their voice is like reverberating all over their face because their face is blocked by the thing.
They're like, and you like, that's literally
that was a good impression.
What they sound like.
I think that's the best impression we've ever done. Like British people. yeah. But it was pretty good.
I just put my hands over my mouth and you got a deep voice. So
are
like,
you telling me Logan Paul could have taken his hands and put it around his mouth and talked like this? And he would have been like, oh, okay, I know what this is. Okay, cool. Mystery for the sole sake of mystery is confusing and leaves too many open ends for a viewer trying to invest themselves in a storyline. Brother.
How's that mystery? How's that a mystery?
Not everything has to be a reveal. You think Zendaya was going to be under the helmet? Like, it wasn't supposed to be a cameo or anything, brother. It was just a guy. Like, even the reflective helmet thing was a callback to the beginning of the movie with the horse. And okay, anyway, number 5, my next point, the storyline is all over the place. What is this, a telenovela? You calling shit the storyline? In a crowd of 40 people, the actress who was mauled on the set of Gordy's home was there. Why? A shock factor because of her scarring? Does she come to all of them? Did she come before the ET feeding?
He said this was the first time that she's coming, and he invited her to come see the alien.
Yeah.
Did this dude watch the movie?
He didn't watch the movie. Also,
what was he doing?
He's acted in movies before. Is he not like at any acquaintanceship, friendship, anything with people that he was in his terrible movies with, or did some stupid YouTube video? Like, does he still talk to the people he was in the Suicide Forest with? Like, come on, man. You can't be that dumb. You can't be that dumb. You're not allowed. Go to jail for being that dumb. Number 6, Jupe has trauma with the phenomena of commercializing predators for profit, and for the last 6 months, he's been feeding horses to an ET in the sky. But what about before that? What is the purpose of that creepy cowboy theme park? Holy shit.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I honestly have not read this. I have not gone this far. Has Logan Paul never heard of nostalgia? Is his brain broken?
I guess not. He's never seen the Star Wars before. Or like the new Star Wars before, I guess.
The resurgence of 80s music, Weeknd's whole new thing with being a pop star instead of doing sad boy atmospheric R&B. Like, he's a pop star now. He does 80s aesthetics. Like, what the fuck?
Oh God. I read the 7th one before you could, and I kind of am just like,
Okay. Number 7. Why was so much emphasis placed on the name of the horses? They had title cards. Why? Go ahead.
The title cards, Mr. Paul, was in reference to the scene that was going to be placed afterwards. So it wasn't really about the horses.
Okay, so Logan Paul obviously showing his ass here on number 7, which brings us back to the first line of this thread. Nope is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. So obviously, if you haven't seen movies or you don't watch movies, you don't see movies where they put title cards as chapter numbers to go to the next thing or to show the title cards as a framing device. He hasn't seen Worst Person in the World, obviously, which came out last year, which is also titled Julie in 12 chapters with an epilogue and a prologue. And the movie has 14 title cards dividing each segment of the film into different scenes, and you know where you are in the pacing of the movie. This is a common framing device. Quentin Tarantino does it. He hasn't seen a Quentin Tarantino movie?
It was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, hello?
He probably didn't like it, or he didn't see it. He probably wouldn't have liked it. But what, you never seen a title card before? Just because it didn't say Chapter 4, Lucky, or Chapter 5, Jean Jacket, like, it was pretty clear what the next segment was going to be about. It helped with the pacing of the movie. It was there for a reason. Anyway, number 8. Why was Barbie Ferreira, an incredible acting talent, so underutilized in this movie? Why was she even in the movie?
Motherfuckers never heard of a cameo before. That's great.
He watches Marvel movies, right?
Like, did he see Bruce Campbell in... Or I guess he's never seen a Bruce Campbell movie, so...
Probably hasn't seen Evil Dead.
Probably was like, oh, who's that old man?
Yeah, who's that old guy?
Who's the old man selling pizza?
I mean, maybe if an actor doesn't have a whole lot of time to be on set for something and the director goes, hey, do you want to be in my movie? And you respect that director. Hey, maybe I want to be a part of that, even for 1 or 2 scenes. It's that simple.
Who would say no to a Jordan Peele film just for a little cameo? Hello?
Who would say no to that? If you respect the director and you like the monologue or you like the scene that you're in, then why wouldn't you want to do it, even if it's for a day? Number 8, this point is kind of telling of someone's ego, you know? Because it's like... Logan Paul gets a text from Jordan Peele and he's like, hey, do you want to be in my movie for 1 scene? I am an incredible acting talent. Why aren't I the lead? So far, these are more like Logan Paul problems.
I was going to say it's not really like the movie itself. It's just Logan Paul's preference to this movie.
It's not even his preference. It's his preference to be stupid. Number 9, way to strip all life from a phenomenal actor, Daniel Kaluuya, by casting him as possibly the most mundane, vanilla character I've ever seen. Not a question. I'm just pissed.
Has this man never seen a Daniel Kaluuya movie ever in his life? Like,
Daniel Kaluuya is a internal actor. That is the thing that makes him special, is that he doesn't have to do a whole lot. You can read everything that he's thinking just by looking at him in the context of the scene. And he has an internal monologue. You can see his wheels turning in his eyes. I think he only saw Get Out, and that was it. What, you want to see your actors do the same exact thing every time?
Yeah, right.
You wanted him to cry 1 single tear down the middle again on both eyes? Like, what do you want? What do you want? I feel like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. What do you want? Okay, can we hone in on vanilla character? What about his character is vanilla?
Yeah, right? When was he boring? When was he like this nothing character? He was great the whole time.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot. Watching his father die, being work obsessed, like all he has is his job. He can't relate to that. This guy whose whole thing is, I'm going to turn my life into a movie, Logan Paul, like you can't connect to that at all. Having a younger sister who is embarrassing, or, you know, having a younger brother who is embarrassing. Even him just being in the car, that car scene when the UFO is above him. And he's like, nope. That's the most relatable I've ever seen a character in a horror movie ever. Ever. I've been waiting we're going to go into praise about this movie real quick. I have never seen a horror movie where a character was just like, that's danger. No, I'm not engaging with that.
Or like when the danger is close to him, he punches it right in the face, like with the kids in the costumes or whatever.
Yeah, that was relatable. I don't know how that was vanilla at all. Whatever. Anyway, number 10, an extraterrestrial creature that is advanced enough to fully shapeshift, activate an anti-electromagnetic field, and propel itself in any direction quickly and quietly. Can't tell the difference between a plastic inflatable and a viable meal. Nope, bro.
Oh, gosh.
So the beginning of the movie starts with the UFO shitting out a bunch of debris from its body. It is fully confident that if it eats something, it can just shit it out if it doesn't want to digest it. Why is that so hard to understand? That's it.
Also, during the movie, didn't he eat, like, basically everything? Like, he ate the horse with the rope thing on it, and he got rid of it. So if he sees yeah, you're right. Like, if he sees an inflatable thing, he's like, oh, I'll eat that. but if I don't like it, I will poop it right out.
It's an intelligence like the fact that it can do all those things that he explained, but is this UFO really thinking, I know how to disrupt electromagnetic fields? No, it's pretty clear that it's just an eating machine. It just eats shit. Like, that's what it does.
It kind of reminds me also of, like, how you were saying, like, the eating thing. It reminds me of Jaws. And also, like, sharks just bite stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, why can't this animal just bite stuff, too? And be like, oh, I don't like it.
Sharks don't even like eating people. They do it by accident because they get confused. Like, this is not hard. Is Logan Paul like, wow, the plot of reality just doesn't make sense if a mouse can, like, walk into a mousetrap because it wants a piece of cheese? Like, okay, we're moving on. Number 10, got to be one of the dumbest points in this whole thing. All right, finally, I love Peele, the VFX, and aesthetic. You have a problem with the plot, but you don't have a problem with the monkey VFX. The monkey VFX is the worst part about this movie. It looks like doo-doo.
That's the only bad thing this movie has to offer, to be honest.
I love Peele, the VFX, and aesthetic, but my thesis is this. I can feel him attempting to recreate the shock from Get Out and Us. Mystery, violent allure, and cinematic choices made for the sake of reaction instead of legitimate contribution to the storyline killed this movie for me. Okay, so here's the problem with this whole part. So he said at the end of his thread, my thesis is this, when you're supposed to put your thesis in the beginning of your argument. Am I wrong?
Yeah, pretty much.
The thesis statement is your argument, and then you spend the rest of your argument reinforcing the thesis. You don't say, my thesis is this at the end. Whatever. I can feel him attempting to recreate shock from Get Out and Us. Okay, so if you're a horror director, you want to top yourself? Or if you're a director...
Up the ante?
Yeah, if you're making movies, or if you're making anything, don't you want to, like, create something better than the thing that you made last time? What is he going to do next, Logan? Make something worse? Dumbass, mystery, violent allure, and cinematic choices made for the sake of reaction. Oh my god, I saw a movie and the director did things to make me feel a certain way. What a concept.
Feel a feeling.
Instead of legitimate contribution to the storyline killed this movie for me. So this is what happens when you watch too much TV. TV is mostly just the story. Like, movies don't have to do that because television is supposed to keep you there for, you know, seasons and seasons on end. But for a movie like the movies that Jordan Peele is trying to make, it's an emotional standalone experience that you just have on its own, and it's not supposed to continue. The only thing that's continuing is his filmography. Why are people so dumb? I'm so tired of people being stupid. Influencers be normal challenge. Like, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. There was a guy who was live tweeting his first watch of The Godfather Part 2 and said it was awful because he was live tweeting the movie.
Oh god, I did not see that.
Why are you live tweeting during The Godfather? Be normal. Be normal. Anyway,
this is definitely top 5 of the year, I'm thinking, because I was sitting there and at the end I was like actually shedding a little tear, and I was like, wow, this is all I ever wanted in filmmaking and in movies.
This is your top 5 for you?
I think so.
I don't know if this will be top 5, but this is definitely top 10. I've given a lot of good reviews to movies this year has been excellent. I mean, The Batman, Everything Everywhere, Triple R, The Northman. I even forgot about The Northman, how great The Northman was.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm fucking with you, don't worry.
I might surprise you. Turning Red, Fresh, Ambulance, Top Gun. The George Carlin documentary is amazing. I liked Men. I know a lot of people didn't like Men, but people are stupid. Corner Office, which hasn't come out yet. I saw it at Tribeca. Like, there's been so many good movies this year. So I don't know if I'm going to put Nope in my top 5, but it's definitely in my top 10. I really like this. I unabashedly think that this is Jordan Peele's best movie. I love the sound.
Oh my god, wait. The sound in this movie was amazing. I was in, what is it called, RPX, and the speakers and everything. Every sound choice that this man made was probably the best thing I've ever heard in my life. I was like, wow.
Isn't it cool how in the Us video we were complaining about the music and how it was taking away from all the horror moments, and then for the entire movie except for the end, which was supposed to be like a spectacle thing, the mystery like is what adds to the fear and not knowing and, you know, all that stuff and not confronting it and still being afraid. Like, when we were still in that tone, he just didn't play music. and we heard everything. And this is exactly what we wanted from us, like in terms of the sound. Yeah, the sound was so cool. He didn't even really have to use music at the end, but like I get it why he used it in that final sequence. But I'm looking at the final trailer for Nope right now because every time it showed up in theaters, I just looked away because either you or one of our friends told us like it shows way too much because I had a feeling. I was like, oh, that first trailer, good enough. I don't want to see anymore. I want to be surprised. And I'm looking at all of it. It shows so many vital scenes in it that I saw for the first time, like actually watching the movie. I'm so glad I didn't know any of this. Do you have a favorite sequence from this film?
I think maybe when the reveal of the alien with Glenn from The Walking Dead and when he was trying to sacrifice the horse.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like eating people, I guess. I was kind of like, I was looking and I was like, what is happening? And then I was realizing, like, as the UFO was like running around and people were screaming, I was like, oh, it's eating them.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of freaky.
Okay, so I'm looking at the trailer again, and that part where like Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya like dap each other up over and over again, I'm so happy I didn't see that in the trailer. Jordan Peele movies do one trailer and that's it. Just show it and that's it. I don't want to know anything. That was such a great moment to see in the theater. Going back to Logan Paul, that part, he just showed so much personality. There was nothing much. Did he just leave like 20 minutes into the movie? He shows so much personality throughout this film. Like he obviously just wasn't paying attention. And it's not even like you have to look that hard. Crazy. Crazy.
Just have to do the bare minimum of looking.
Name something that's hard to do with your eyes open. Read.
All right, we've been going on for almost 50 minutes, so I think we have to stop at some point. We really liked Nope. It's a really great movie. You know, watching this and then the Oppenheimer trailer right before, this was the Hoyte van Hoytema show, okay? One of the best DPs out there. The nighttime stuff looked great, even though I'm like against Blue Moonlight. Like he made it look really good. Yeah, just beautiful movie. Keke Palmer is the moment. She's great. We'll probably do a more formal video, like a commentary or something on it. But I think we just wanted to focus on stupid people being stupid, and that's probably my favorite brand of criticism, is to make fun of morons, as you know, because we make fun of dumbasses on this channel all the time in our comments. So what do you want to give this movie? You got any closing statements? And give me that out of 10.
I hope more movies like Nope are released today, please, because this movie was really great. It reminded me of why I love the sci-fi genre so much and why I want to make movies low-key, and I'm giving Nope an 8 out of 10.
Cool. Yeah, I think we both hope that more movies get made like this with the attention to character and theme as opposed to just the plot, because this movie could have just been, I mean, there is a 3-act structure to it, but it's not about getting in and getting out. It's about telling a full story with these characters and like actually saying something about, you know, exploitation, how people profit off of their own trauma. Like many people have been saying that this is a love letter to filmmakers and, you know, the crew. It's a whole thing. It's very clear what the movie's about, and there's no reason for you to get confused about what this movie's about. I'm sure more things about the film will arise in the wake of people seeing it and discourse and just the passage of time. Every issue that I've had with his movies so far in Get Out and Us is completely erased in this movie. The cinematography is gorgeous. The score is barely even there. And those were really my main gripes with his movies up until this point, really. I don't know what else to say. I just really love Nope.
Oh,
that's scary. There was a louder
That's a
one the
sign.
other day. Yeah, it's getting crazy over here. The climate is changing. It was 95 degrees yesterday.
Yeah.
Nope, more like yup, and I'm giving Nope an 8 out of 10. Well, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you agree or disagree, tell us in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends. Do all the things. That Oppenheimer trailer, right?
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait to see that in IMAX next year with Barbie next door.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You have to get past the Avengers and Marvel shit at some point, okay? Other people make movies.